everyone, I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Mom.
And this is Millennial and Mom. And today we are here to give you all a recap on this 3-hour episode of 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 Days, Season 4, Episode 10, Cuts Both Ways. Lord, this episode tired me out and we didn't even get that much answers. But let's get into the video.
So we're going to start with Lisa and Usman. Lisa and Usman meet up with Mommy today. It's the final day to get the blessing before Lisa has to go back home. So Lisa's saying how, I've went to the mosque, I have bought a goat. Like, what else does she need from me? I'm like, come on, Lisa. You know that you're too old for Usman. You know that's probably what the holdup is, and you're not Nigerian. Anyways, they meet up with Mommy, and Usman is begging and pleading like, come on, Mommy. I love Lisa. She loves me. She's going home. We really want your blessing. There's more opportunities in America. I think I could thrive there. But Mommy's still like listening and shaking her head. But at the end of all that, she finally decides to give her blessing.
I can't believe Mommy said yes.
I can't believe it either.
Because she was so strong. I was like, yes, Mommy. But maybe Mommy saw the opportunities and he was probably like, I'm just trying to use her and I'm gonna be out, because I really don't see Mommy saying yes for real.
Well, yeah, well, she said yes. Anyways, they leave and they're all happy and excited, and you could tell that Lisa kind of wanted some affection but knew that she shouldn't because that's not appropriate right now. Now we see Usman meet up with his brother Muhammad. Him and Muhammad go ring shopping. Lisa doesn't want a fancy ring because most Nigerian women want flashy, gold, all this stuff, but no. Lisa wants simple. So they find a merchant with the rings. His brother asks, so are you sure you want to do this? He's like, yeah, I want to marry her. Usman tells his brother that he hopes that they can have peace in the relationship because Lisa, she's dominant, trying to tell him what to do. And the brother, Muhammad, is giving him words of wisdom, saying, you should have peace as much as possible. Even if you're wrong, you should say you're sorry, just to keep the peace at night. And Usman's like, yeah, okay, he's taking it in, but he still wants to talk to Lisa before they get married, or else he doesn't think they can get married. Usman's now going to tell Lisa about brushing things over to get them on the same page. And so, but they stopped at this market first. Looks like they were selling fruit, and I personally like fresh pineapple. And Lisa's like, oh, let me get pineapple and whatever that is. He said whatever name it was. She's like, is it sweet? He goes, yeah. But of course, it's probably a tropical fruit. You may not have had it before, but she tries it, and guess what? She didn't like it. So Usman sits down and talks to Lisa about, I really don't like the fact that you're controlling me. He said 2 kings can't be together in the same palace because they're going to end up fighting.
I beg to differ.
And Lisa's listening and everything, and eventually she says, you know what? That's like, go away, dog. Go away, goat. Go away, chicken. She said, that's like trying to control me. And that may be for Nigerian women, but that is not what Americans do. We are not controlled. Lisa wasn't having that conversation.
She wasn't, but at the same time she wasn't reciprocating to what he was saying.
Right.
Because she really don't care. She don't want none of them groupies around. If you have someone in that music video that's not her, you need to cut it. So I don't understand why Lisa's like that. If your man is having a music career, your man's music career is number one. And you have to have it flourish by any means. You gotta have fans.
Yeah, well, she gets up and she does her famous thing. She walks out. She walks down the road. See, this time she wasn't scared. And this time she was, kind of scared about that. But Usman says, you know what? If she doesn't get this right, then I don't know if we can get married. We see Ed and Rosemary. And it's the next morning, that night that Ed had, it was real rough. They're leaving on their trip because Ed says he wants to go stay at a hotel, but he wants to really spend time with Rosemary.
But before you see all that, my problem once again is, how are you not going to take Prince? How you not take her baby? If you trying to be a family with this woman, how are you not going to take her whole child? Like, that would make sense to me. But it's Ed, and everything Ed does doesn't make sense.
Well, I happen to agree because they did bond before, supposedly, and he wanted to bond with her and Rosemary. They get there to the airport, and she's never flown, and he's excited, and she's excited to get on the plane. He's like, give her a window seat. Finally make it to the hotel. They get up in the room, they get comfortable. Looks like they took showers and everything. So Ed is pulling out items that he brought for Rosemary. And one of those things,
some lingerie, in my terms,
lingerie,
a teddy, which I thought was creepy. What did you think?
I thought it was typical Ed.
I just don't feel like, no matter, even if it's not someone you meet overseas, if you're just kicking it with them for 2 weeks, I don't care how long you talk to them, don't gift them with lingerie if you don't even know if they're comfortable with stuff like that.
Well, I mean, before he got there the first time, in the first hotel room, didn't you see all those Victoria's Secret bags? So he had lots of stuff in there that he was bringing.
He said he has a special gift for her, and then goes into her bag and pulls out toothpaste, toothbrush, mouthwash, and she's looking like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
He had the nerve to say, you know, your breath wasn't pretty. But I was like, why would you do this on camera? You just embarrassed the whole girl.
Yeah, he did.
On camera.
He embarrassed her. But remember, the previous hotel, he told her it'd be nice if she shaved her legs. So
that's 2 times he embarrassed her on camera.
Right.
Lord, I would have roasted him right then and there in my regular language, in Tagalog, not Tagalog.
So Rosemary's looking like you said, and she's embarrassed, she's hurt, she's upset. She tells Ed, you know what? I brush my teeth, but I have an ulcer. He's like, oh, you have an ulcer? Why didn't you tell me?
Well, why didn't you ask me? Why didn't you bring this up to concern? I could have been embarrassed to tell you. But look at you. Just embarrassed this girl and made her a fool. So then she gets up, walks away, and he's like, oh, I love you. And then she says something in Tagalog that basically meant, you ugly.
Right.
And I'm like, yes, girl, halfway roast him on
He
camera.
was ugly with his attitude and maybe his attitude, his personality, and we won't talk about his features, but he was real ugly.
Him and his mayonnaise hair had the nerve.
So later in the afternoon, Ed decides to take Rosemary on an excursion to make up for how he embarrassed her. But Rose says she's going to give him another chance, which she always does, and she's excited to go on the excursion. So they're on a canoe or a kayak or some small catamaran. I think that's what it's called. Ed is like, oh, I want to see the monkeys. I want to take a picture of monkeys. Now, you know, other people's cultures have monkeys and other animals that live freely like that. And if you don't live in a culture like that, those are just things you may see either on TV or if you visit a zoo or something. But from what I do know about monkeys, that they like to eat and they like to snatch little things from you and run off. That's just what they do.
But like, how are you gonna go see the monkeys, but now you scared of the monkeys? They were coming at him though, but he did come in with food. Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
I'm sure they had a sign about that. Like, anytime you go somewhere, like, please don't feed or put it up or something.
Yo, that scene had me so dead with those monkeys spread to him.
Well, the first monkey took the plastic bag out of his backpack. Why was it sticking out your backpack? That's what I was saying. I'm like, why are the bags out your backpack? And then the second monkey took the banana out of his backpack. Well, yeah. And he was like, the monkey took it out of my back. Like, he was upset with the monkey.
Like Rose can do something about it. Like, she can go up there and get the banana from the monkey.
But Rose is like, calm down. You know, clearly this is, I'm not going to say normal for her, but something that she may have seen before.
Well, she thought the rap was normal, so.
Then Ed is like, you know what? He don't want to go on this trip no more. He goes, I need to take a shower. He's like, what if one scratched and bit me? What am I going to do? I'm like, first of all, you have traveled to a foreign place. Mm-hmm. You should have had all your inoculations. Does it matter? You're there to see.
He don't care. You know he don't care.
He's so rude about it, though. Her whole homeland, even the next island over, because Philippines is a bunch of islands in the Pacific. I believe they're in the Pacific.
Where else would they be? In Atlantic?
Well, yeah. But there are a bunch of different islands, and he just acts like he just doesn't want to be there. And I don't like that. That's rude. Back to the hotel. Now it's in the evening time, so I guess he got a shower now. Ed says before he proposes, he wants to ask Rose about the money that Marie asked for.
Now, do you think he should have asked her sister in front of her while he was there? Or do you think he should have pressed the issue first with Rose before having a group meeting with the sister?
Well, I do think that he wanted to let Rose know about it because, see, remember he said he wanted to see if Rose knew about it. But Rose was shaking under the table and she was like mad. I know she was probably thinking like, he's asked me this again. But I got the feeling that maybe somehow Rose may have kind of knew, even though she said no. Mm-hmm. But Rose did said that she would ask her sister about it. And then to appease the situation, she said that they could ask together. And that made Ed feel better. Like, oh, okay, so now I can trust you now completely. And Rose is like, really? He's like, yeah, really.
I don't believe that.
I don't either. Next scene we see is the morning time. Ed and Rosemary are walking down to the beach. Girl, did you see Ed try to get on the hammock? And he rolled back and Rose had to help him forward.
Child, someone needs to help Ed out in general.
Then Ed gets drinks, coconut drinks. Those are some big old coconuts. I was like, I want to try that.
You just want to try everything. The fruit.
Well, I love fresh fruit, so I know it's been nice and fresh. So you can't, once you're able to get that, get it. Ed calls his friend to tell the friend about what happened at dinner. And what Ed didn't tell Rosemary was he has an appointment to get a vasectomy. Because Ed knows Rosemary wants 2 more kids and he's just not trying to have any more kids.
Cold-blooded. So
the friend is telling him, like, don't linger on. Tell Rose so she can make her own decision if she wants to stay with you or not. And I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Because, he wants answers from Rose, but yet he's keeping a secret from her. Moving on, we have Geoffrey and Varya. So now it's the next morning. They're getting ready to leave Varya's mom's house in Siberia to go back to the city to go camping with Geoffrey's friend Igor. Geoffrey's like, so I hope things go well with us, and I hope I didn't offend your mom. And Varya's like, well, they don't really trust you. I don't know what else to tell you. He's like, well, I'm a changed man. She goes, yeah, I believe you, and I want to still give it a try. And then Varya tells in her confessional that she really didn't tell Geoffrey all the horrible things that her mom said in Russian because she didn't want to upset Geoffrey. But
I mean, it goes both ways. She didn't tell him all the horrible things. He didn't tell her all about the horrible
that's
things.
True. Good point. Varya's sad because she doesn't see her mom as often, and they're having an emotional goodbye. She don't say nothing to Geoffrey. She's looking at him like, when are you gonna get out of my house? But Geoffrey tells her bye, nice to meet you, and she's still like, whatever. They finally make it to the campground, and his friend Igor's out there, like, hey, how you doing? Whatever. But Igor speaks Russian. He speaks very little English. And I was like, well, how are they friends?
The same way he's friends with his Russian friend back home.
That's true. It seemed like to me, Varya and Igor were connecting.
They were connecting. They were vibing.
Mm-hmm.
But I, high-key, would have been a little bit worried about going camping with him and his friend.
That's woods. True. 2 people you didn't really know. They toast with vodka. Then Geoffrey says, you know what? I got to use the bathroom. Where was the bathroom? They were camping.
Exactly. Why would it have been there?
Igor asked Varya, what do you really want from this? How do you know him? She's like, well, he told me about his past and I really don't know. Just the same thing she was telling her family. And Igor was telling her that, Geoffrey is a really nice guy and he's awesome and give him a chance. And she's like, yeah, I'm trying to pretty much. And I don't know how that's going to work. I really don't, because the things how Varya and Varya's family's values don't line up with Geoffrey, even though he says he's a changed man. But that apprehension is still there. Varya's like, I don't know, deep down.
I mean, yeah, he says he's a changed man, but we know that he's not as changed as he claims. We finally get to see who's behind the door for David. And who's behind the door? I called it out last week. I'm like, it's going to be a man. And it was an old man behind the door. He was looking confused. I think his name was like Anthony, something. Mm-hmm. I think it was translated to Anthony. It's like, is Lana here? He's like, who? I live here. He said he lived there since 95. So David's like, so there's no one in there? No one lives here. I'm sorry. And then he leaves and he's just disappointed. And I don't feel bad for David.
I don't either. I mean, 7 years, this is your 4th failed trip. I mean, how many failed trips did you need after 7 years? Lana's only online to talk to you for money, for a chat. When you come to Russia and you tell her in advance you're coming to Russia, and she all of a sudden has a reason as to why she can't meet you, I just don't get it. So...
But Anthony said, I don't know why these American men keep coming to the Ukraine trying to get these Ukrainian women. And I'm like, okay, so this is something that happens a little too often. Because he said it. The restaurant owner said it.
The floor said it.
From there said it. Someone else he knew said it. Like, how many people you need to tell you?
And his friend's wife, who is from there,
said it. That's like 5 people right there.
Yeah.
If anything I learned is to not go online to meet no Ukrainian women and men too.
But if you choose to, you may have a better result, but the odds are not in your favor. It's the morning, David's packing, and he's still in disbelief. And why would Lana do this to me? But what he said interesting was, she reaches out to him, he'll gladly take her back because he's so in love with her.
Tom is on his way to Darcy's house. Why for an extra 5 minutes or 3 hour long episode today? Stacy answers the door, sees Tom. She's like, why are you here? What are you doing at my house? Like, who invited you?
Pretty much.
But she goes to get Darcy because, of course, he wants to talk to her. For what? To apologize. Why is he apologizing? I really don't know, because everything you said at the restaurant, you meant to say.
Exactly.
You don't have any remorse. You don't still have feelings for this girl. You don't still love this girl. You were just using this girl. Everybody knows it. And now Darcy knows it. So Darcy's not here for it. She's not accepting an apology. And then he goes to hand her a letter with like, well, at least read the letter. And she's like, I just don't feel comfortable doing that.
I was actually happy she said that. I thought she was strong, but Darcy's always strong in her element. Her element is...
about to cry, though.
Darcy's strong in her element, and her element is her sister. Because if you notice, every time they get together, Darcy's like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But when she's not around her sister, she's not as strong. Darcy did want to cry, but she held it in. But Tom can understand why she didn't want to take the letter, though.
Right. He had the nerve to be mad. Said he wasted his good time writing this letter, his good time and energy to come down here to apologize, and this is how she gonna act.
Oh, that's sarcasm.
The disrespect. The same old Darcy. I was like,
sir.
Yes. How dare you? You try to make yourself look like the good guy.
Yeah.
I don't know who you were fooling. Maybe somebody who likes you, your girlfriend, your new girl, or somebody.
I don't know.
But you still look like the same Tom.
Yeah.
Who played her with that Harry Potter key last season. I haven't forgot about that. That was too disrespectful. So instead, he leaves a note on the car. Because he wasted his good time and energy. He wanted somebody to read it.
He did. And so, exactly. And so, Darcy noticed that he left the note on her windshield. And it's like, you know what, Stacy? Go down there, go get it. Go rip it up.
Oh
I don't
God,
want
you
it.
Sound just like her.
I don't want that energy in here. She's like, okay, I'm going. So she goes, she rips it up. And I'm glad that they did. I'm glad Darcy held her ground. Even though she was emotional, but Darcy's emotional.
Clearly.
And, you know, she's like, never again. I'm going to do this for me. I'm strong. I deserve better. I'm like, yes, you do. So as we know, Stephanie and Erika get into another argument. And Stephanie, the night before, left the party. So what'd she do? She took an Uber to her hotel. I'm surprised she stayed somewhere different since she's such a germaphobe and didn't have her supplies.
Don't do her.
Well, so it's the morning now. Stephanie's leaving the hotel, but she says that Erika reached out. So they're going to go meet at the Botanical Gardens to talk. Stephanie did end up apologizing because she said, well, you know, I just wanted to know what was going on with you and your friends because I'm not here for a long time. And I really didn't know how else to say or when else to bring it up.
She's not there for a long time or a good time either.
So Erika says, well, you have to learn to trust me. I'm the one that brought you around my friends in the first place. If I didn't want to, then you would have never met them. Then Steph is like, okay, wrong time, wrong place. Then we see them go to a place where they make boomerangs. And Erika says, well, every American wants to throw a boomerang. Side note, I actually threw a boomerang because I actually had one from the 2000 Australian Olympics that someone brought. That's neither here nor there.
Was it authentic?
Yes, it was from the Olympics. I have to find it, but I have it somewhere. The gentleman who makes those boomerangs gave a fun fact. He told Stephanie that boomerangs were originally made to kill kangaroos for their meat. Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting. I just thought there was a toy.
You did?
I did.
You didn't think it was a hunting tool?
So it's not a toy. It's actually a dangerous weapon. But anyways, that was a way of Erika to get Stephanie to open up.
For that, I thought it was funny because he was like, well, what brought you guys here? He's like, oh, it's my friend. He was like, what kind of friend?
True.
I was like, are you flirting with them or are you just trying to get information?
They open up on that date, and Stephanie actually gave Erika a kiss. I was surprised she gave her a kiss. Any type of affection.
Well, she was in a doghouse.
Well, she's always
or is it the cat house if it's a female?
Well, for the rest of that afternoon and into the evening and the next day, they had a nice date. They went to go see sharks in a cage, and Stephanie overcame her fears with all that. So overall, it ended well after that argument.
It was a better episode with those two. Wasn't too much drama, too much theatrics. Stephanie did what she came to do, was have a great time, and Erika was like, this is the Stephanie I fell in love with. Then we get to Ash and Avery. I was so disappointed in Ash. I'm not saying he was my boy, but I was rooting for him.
I was rooting for you. I was really rooting for you. I didn't fall for the shenanigans at all.
He decided to take Avery on one of his dating seminars. And it was an epic fail.
Well, he decided to take Avery to one of his dating seminars because on the trip that they had to Barrier Reef, they had a conversation about that because all those text messages that was on his phone. Because Avery didn't want to let that go. So in order to, let her see what was going on, Avery invited herself to the seminar.
They get there, you're supposed to be nice to all the girls, greeting them. But he definitely looked like he was flirting with this one blonde girl because this blonde girl was giving him some looks. I was like, Avery, you want to go get your man?
Well, he may have known that lady anyways, because if he has a dating consultation service for single women, is a good chance that she may have attended one of those, whether it be in person or virtually before. So
that's not true. You can sign up for different seminars and stuff. I just did one today and it didn't work out well. But anyways, he starts going into his dialogue, and his dialogue is not more so about what you can do to get a guy in a relationship. It's more so how you need to create and form yourself to be that person for that guy. So a little less Steve Harvey think like man and more like male dominant. It was not okay. And the females there, they were not feeling what he was saying
at all. And
they were rebuttaling him, questioning him, so much so that he actually had to go outside because he started to stutter. He started looking at his phone and be like, oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
He's like, I have too many thoughts in my mind. They're running crazy. So once he goes outside, Avery gets up and goes out after him. Like, so what's going on? He's like, I just have too many thoughts. I'm getting confused. You're not getting confused. What's happening is you're being challenged of the information that you're giving. So then when he comes back in, he starts over.
Right. She's like, well, just start on the 5 love languages. Just pick it up from there. And I'm like, okay, 5 love languages. I know my love language. Do you know yours?
Yes.
Mine says quality time. What's yours?
Conversation, communication.
So he goes back in there, and then he starts talking about the 5 love languages. How could you fail on this? But he basically told them, because one of the ladies said it, you have to acquire to what their love language is, because they don't really know, the guys, they don't really know. So You just have to be that because you're more emotional. Instead, more emotional, more nurturing. He tried to switch it up.
He tried.
It was going to make it sound better, but it wasn't sounding better
The
at
whole
all.
room, well, most of the women in there were like rolling their eyes like, is he serious?
Especially that one blonde lady that he flirted with. Because at first she was feeling him, but you could see it was going down progressively.
Yeah.
Especially on the one part when he said, you know, you can't really be with someone who's like you. That's passion. That's only friendship. You need someone with dominance. And she was like, well, I was with someone who was on the same emotional level as me, and it worked out pretty well. He was like, no. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
How are you going to tell her no? Was you there?
The whole seminar clearly didn't go the way he planned, and he felt that too.
I don't think so. I think at first he felt that, the first half, but when he came back with that love language in the second quarter, I think he won the game. Avery looked disgusting.
She did. She was not here for that because she was saying how, you know, I wonder if he really feels this way and if our relationship will work. Well, clearly he feels that way. He gave a seminar about how he feels or things that men feel. They start walking down the trail just to have some time, some air. And Avery says, so how do you think it went? And Ash's like, yeah, I think it went pretty good. But Avery is grilling him, saying, you know, it came off kind of sexist. I'm like, not kind of. It was sexist. But Ash didn't like that at all. He felt that Avery was patronizing him and just didn't support him at all. He's like, and I can't have that.
I was like, patronizing?
And he walked off. He walked off fast. He left Avery. She was like, Ash. He's like, I just don't want to talk right now. Even the producers had to ask him where he was going.
I was so disappointed in Ash because I need to see his credentials. I don't believe nothing he says anymore. You know what he's giving me? He's giving me the vibe of those people who say they could take $100 and flip it to $800. Scammer. Lord, then we have Yolanda. I cannot believe you. So, she goes on this walk with her 2 children, her daughter that we always see, and our son, to talk about Williams, about what's been going on, how she can contact him. But wait! She got a message from somebody on Instagram called Sweet Boop. And I'm like, well, they could at least give the information so we could look it up.
No, because they didn't want you to look it up. That's why.
She talks and says, yeah, this girl hit me up and she told me about Williams, how his account was hacked. And I was like, I knew it. I just knew his account was hacked. I knew he couldn't do this to me. I was like, so you're okay with having another woman hit you up on Instagram, and she's supposed to be an IG model at that, so that's even more, hit you up about your man to let you know that he's okay, he's doing well, he was just hacked, but you still haven't heard from him?
And the kids were looking at her like, are you serious, Mom? But what her son said, and I was like, listen to your son, Yolanda. He said, so she knows that he's hacked, she knows he's doing well, but you don't? Pretty much, that's your man. How come he can't contact you? If she can contact you, how come he can't contact you? She didn't have an answer for that.
She don't have an answer for nothing. She just wants to believe in this facade. I don't know if she's believing it for real at this point, or she's believing it to be on TV. Because there's no way I could still be talking to my mom about the same things. And on top of that, she gonna tell me that she received an IG message from a whole nother woman?
Right.
I would have to take my mom's phone away. I'd be like, no more phone.
I mean, I don't know what Yolanda's thinking. I know she wants to be in love with someone. That's what it comes across. But she's clearly being catfished, and she doesn't want to accept that. But her kids do decide to do a reverse image lookup.
That would have been the first thing I would have done.
They decide to do that for her, and Yolanda says, well, she don't know about that, and of course she doesn't know. So
you can't keep talking to her. I'm telling you, Mom, I wouldn't keep talking to you. I wouldn't be able to, because I would start to get angry at this point.
Yeah.
Like, why? And I don't want to do that. Release all that negativity. It's all about positivity. And you giving me negativity? Nah, we have to social distance for real.
All we have is positive vibes over here. But thing is, they're trying to do the reverse search, and it looks like we will find out who those pictures are or who they belong to in the next episode.
Y'all, so that was the end of 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. And I have no idea why they gave us an extra hour. We honestly didn't need it because we didn't get anything extra that we would have any other time.
Well, I didn't mind it, but it would have been nice if we had some closures to some people. I mean, I guess we kind of maybe had a closure with David. At least he left to come back home. He didn't extend his stay. But with Yolanda, I wish we would have saw the picture and just went ahead and wrapped her up.
Exactly. So let us know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments down below, and also what you think is going to happen on next week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
So please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and you share this video to other fellow 90 Day Fiancé viewers.
And as always, live simply, be grateful.